Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Kreuk, Chaos versus Echuchee and me here on Decena. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen Decena yet, so I'll go ahead and give it a quick overlay. There is a common shared choke point down here off of your ramp where you and your partner are just basically deposited or can try to guard. Your natural expansion is hidden a little bit behind your wall, so you have this high ground all around your front door choke in order to be able to get a very strong front door and be able to fortify your natural expansion. However, the other expansions are very sparse. There is one additional expansion on the low ground on the bottom left hand corner, which is difficult to take except for a Terran player who can lift off their command center. In addition, there's also a high yield mineral expansion over here at the 6 o'clock position and the 12 o'clock position. There are only two ways up into this position. There's a large choke point ramp over here and over here as well, and that's mirrored over here on the south side. In addition to that, there's two Xel'Naga watchtowers placed in the middle of the map. My partners, if you did not know, Chaos and Kreuk were both Protoss. One of them was Protoss, the other one was random Protoss. Back over here, I was originally going for some sort of, I believe I wanted to go for a Reaper build. However, my barracks and my gas was so delayed, I realized that it would not really work out. That probe was able to take down, I believe, 2 SCVs, or just 1 SCV, and then pull away. I'm mining very slowly at this stage in the game, only with 9 harvesters, and that's going to be a very devastating start for me at this point. Back over here, we have a command center trying to produce more SCVs. Nexus now also building some additional probes as well. So both players just trying to macro up as quickly as possible. Gateway now finally down for Chaos, as Echuchee is also warping in a second gateway as well. I'm kind of delayed, so I realized that my Reaper harassment was not going to be that good, as their micro was fairly intensive. So I know that they're going to be going for an early cybernetics core to get those early stalkers. And once those stalkers are out, my Reapers are not very useful at all. So instead of spending the 50 minerals and the 50 energy or 50 gas on a Reaper, I go ahead and research an early concussive shell. I want to macro up as much as possible, try to get as many SCVs, and just continue to produce more units. Back over here, Echuchee is activating the Xel'Naga watchtower in order to keep tight tabs on this army. Gateway now currently... second gateway now being warped in as that cybernetics core is done, researching that warp gate ability, and probably going to be starting to train a stalker the instant he has enough gas. Back over here to this north side, Chaos now going for a 3-gate strategy, so both players going for a very heavy 4-gate opening, which will enable them to get a very large army very quickly. At this point, I still only have a single barracks, and that's really what where my problem is. I'm not able to macro up nearly enough. You can take a look. My harvester count is only at 15, so I lost a lot of harvesters. And because Kreuk and Chaos both were able to macro up and use that chrono boost in order to get a lot of minerals and reduce the build time on those probes, I am significantly behind economically. However, I am fairly well defended in my base. Having 2 Marauders, going to be getting a second barracks as well in order to just try to mass Marauders against this double Protoss army. However, Chaos going for a 3-gate, now going for a robotics facility as well. Kreuk, on the other hand, going for a 3-gate and does not look like he's going for a robotics facility. So no robotics facility for Kreuk as that warp gate research nearing completion. Army-wise, I'm sitting on a 400 mineral army, Echuchee sitting on a 325, while Kreuk and Chaos are both sitting on a larger army. Hold on one moment. Alright, welcome back to the game. Actually, yes, I am unmuted. Now we have an army coming out from Chaos. Chaos moving out with a couple stalkers and a single zealot, and also a couple stalkers and some zealots coming out as well. So here I have an army of 4 Marauders. Army-wise, both me and Echuchee have the smaller army, and we should have done a little bit of an engagement here to try to start fighting. And now in come these Marauders with those concussive shells, able to focus down some of these units. Kreuk losing some of these units, trying to focus down Kreuk losing some of those stalkers, trying to kite these units continually. or continuously. However, Zealots being continually reinforced here and going to make it very difficult army-wise. I only have 4 Marauders, and now they're going to go ahead and try to come up onto that ramp. Stalkers now moving in, continuing the fight. Marauders coming in, able to focus down some of these Stalkers, and Kreuk now losing a couple of these Zealots and those Stalkers, now trying to run up on this ramp, trying to get onto that high ground, and enabling me to take down more of Kreuk's units. Only with, what, 4 Marauders trying to focus down more of these units. Chaos now running headlong into that mineral field, trying to take down, trying to stop the economic advantage. Going to go ahead and take down some of those other additional units. Zealots now being very, very slow. One Marauder getting taken down, however, going to be able to kite these units and still focus down more of these. So Chaos now down to a rather small army. However, more units being rebuilt, being reinforced. Kreuk now sitting on a fairly large army. 5 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, and 1 Sentry against the 2 Immortals and 3 Zealots of Chaos. So that is a definitely strong army at this point in the game. Marauders, 6 Marauders in the center of the field. No stim pack research. Finally starting to research stim pack, but actually no, do I have it now? Okay, I finally have stim pack. So these Marauders going to be trying to focus down some of these units, trying to take down that last Immortal. Immortal down to 60 hit points, and losing, however, lost that shield, or lost that probe on that high ground, so unable to get any additional sight. Trying to take down those Immortals, but this is a really bad fight for us, as we are essentially outflanked at this position. Echuchee has an Observer up on that high ground now, but they're going to lose that last Marauder. I'm down to only 3 Marauders, as I'm still trying to produce more and more units. The Marauders taking 30 time to build, so they're not getting deployed nearly as quickly as soon as that Warp Gate research has finished. That last Immortal now taking a significant damage from those units. That Immortal quickly getting taken down, not even firing back just a little bit. And now in comes this army of Chaos. So Chaos having a lot of Zealots in this fight. Very, very smart unit mixture, as he knows that we have a lot of Stalkers and a lot of Marauders. Those Marauders are not going to be a good counter, and the Marauders are strong against Zealots when you're able to kite them, but when you are not able to kite them, those Zealots are able to just overrun. The Stalkers would have been able to continue the chase. Now finally trying to get up to a 3 barracks build, but my macro was not enough, not able to produce enough of an army. An additional 7 Marauders would have been so much in terms of this fight. Now Kreuk, however, just coming in with a couple Stalkers, a couple Zealots, making short work of my army. Back over here, however, Echuchee was able to get down 1 force field and just able to just continue to fire back. Alright, sorry about that. In comes this fight. Chaos continuing to chase down more of these units, able to destroy that pylon and essentially stop the power to all of these warp gates. Now, Echuchee, not having any additional pylons, will not be able to warp in any additional reinforcements. And taking a look at the unit overlay and the army overlay, you can already tell that Echuchee and me are so far behind. There's not much we can really do in this fight and in this matchup. This, I believe, was the last game in our 5 placement matches. So even though we did our best, even though we tried to fight back, there's not much we could really do. Those Immortals making quick work of that Marauder. Oh, nice to know the diameter of a Nexus is about 5. So a Marauder is able to shoot at an Immortal, at an Immortal, and not be able to, an Immortal may not be able to shoot back. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. You can see this whole entire large chain of units continuing to come in, as Chaos has a 2,000 mineral army and Kreuk is sitting on the 1350. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening.